Ladies and gentlemen, this is Intervlog. I said, this is Intervlog.
Yes, I'm a special envoy sent by my president, Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan.
Today, we bring you a special message from the heart of Africa, a message of unity, vision, and cooperation that is about to change the future of this continent forever. What happened on April 17, 2025 in Ouagadougou is not just a diplomatic event. No, it is a revolution of hearts and minds. The president of Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, met with a special envoy from President Samia Suluhu Hassan of Tanzania, a meeting that can be described as the dawn of a new Africa. Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, former president of Tanzania and now special envoy, came bearing a message straight from the courageous, visionary leader of Tanzania, President Samia Suluhu Hassan, to one of Africa's youngest and most dynamic leaders, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And what was in that message? Unity, partnership, a call for deeper cooperation between Burkina Faso and Tanzania. And let us tell you, this cooperation is pure gold for the future of Africa. Let's break it down, family. What are the benefits of this Tanzania-Burkina Faso cooperation? Why are we so excited? Tanzania is offering its expertise in cardiology. Yes, heart care. Burkinabe cardiologists are now linking up with the Tanzanian Heart Institute, one of the best on the continent. Can you imagine? Burkina Faso. Patients receiving world-class heart treatments thanks to African collaboration. Not waiting for visas to France, not begging for donations from the West, but building together in Africa for Africa. This is Pan-Africanism in action. When Burkinabe cardiologists visit Tanzanian institutes and Tanzanian scientists come to Burkina Faso, what happens? Knowledge grows, technology multiplies, capacity builds. We are no longer just consumers. We are creators of our own African science and innovation. By working together, Tanzania and Burkina Faso are proving a point to the entire world. Africa is ready to stand as one. If Europe can unite, if America can be united from east to west, then why not Africa? Why should we be divided by borders drawn during colonization? No. As President Ibrahim Traoré and President Samia Suluhu Hassan have shown us, we are stronger together. Listen, African presidents, this is a wake-up call. It's time to drop the selfishness and the neo-colonial mentalities. It's time to drop dependency. Look at what Suluhu and Traoré are doing. This is leadership. This is what Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, and Julius Nyerere fought for. If you're a president in Africa and you're still waiting for Europe to come and develop your hospitals, your schools, your roads, you are the problem. You think health is the only area? No way. The potential between Burkina Faso and Tanzania is huge in agriculture, mining, education, tourism, military cooperation, energy, and manufacturing. Imagine Tanzanian cashew and Burkinabe cotton being processed together in African factories. Imagine medical tourism within Africa. Imagine African-built solar grids powered by Tanzanian engineers and Burkinabe materials. Burkina Faso is a leader in agricultural revolutions. Tanzania has vast fertile lands and coastlines. Together they can spark a continental food revolution. Why are we still importing rice from Asia when we have farmers in Bobo Dioulasso and Dodoma ready to feed the whole continent? Both countries have a strong stance on sovereignty. Cooperation between their defense sectors can enhance strategies, improve military training exchanges, and protect sovereign independence from foreign control. We are witnessing the rise of Afro-defense diplomacy, where our armies are not used against our people, but to protect them and build them. Let us pause and say, thank you, President Suluhu. Thank you, Captain Traoré. President Samia Suluhu Hassan. You are the mother of modern African diplomacy. You did not send your envoy to the West. You sent him to another bold African state. You did not come asking for aid. You came offering partnership. President Ibrahim Traoré, you are the son of Thomas Sankara. You opened the doors to real cooperation, and you always say, let's do it ourselves. Well, this is it. This is what doing it ourselves looks like. To the rest of Africa, we repeat, copy this model. Learn from Samia Suluhu Hassan. Learn from Ibrahim Traoré. Now let's go deeper into each area of opportunity. Tanzania's Heart Institute has treated thousands of patients from across East Africa. Now they are ready to partner with Burkina Faso to share expertise, train local doctors, and expand access to high-level heart care in West Africa. This means more lives saved, fewer patients needing to travel abroad, and more African solutions to African problems. Imagine a continental African health passport, where Tanzanian doctors, Burkinabe nurses, Ghanaian researchers, and Algerian engineers collaborate across borders. This is the beginning of that dream. Tanzania has coastline. Burkina Faso has experience in dryland farming. Both are facing the impact of climate change. Why not combine knowledge? Why not share irrigation techniques, seed resilience technologies, and fertilizer production? Why not create the African Agricultural Corps, a network of farmers supported by both governments, producing food not just for trade, but for food sovereignty? Burkinabe students can learn Swahili. Tanzanian students can learn French. Joint university degrees can be launched. Student exchanges between University of Ouagadougou and University of Dar es Salaam could produce the next generation of African scientists and leaders. Burkina Faso is landlocked. Tanzania has the Dar es Salaam port. A logistical partnership could help Burkinabe goods access global markets faster and cheaper. Train lines, highways, and energy pipelines. Why must they stop at borders? We can unite our infrastructure. Let our musicians collaborate. Let Burkinabe filmmakers work with Tanzanian actors. Let our traditional dances mix. This will boost tourism and strengthen our shared African identity. Tanzania has natural gas. Burkina Faso has sun. What if we combined solar and gas power grids and created a model for energy cooperation? Both presidents believe in sovereignty and independence. They could create a West-East Pan-African defense network to protect against foreign exploitation. This meeting is not just history, it is prophecy fulfilled. Let us be clear. President Samia Suluhu Hassan is one of the greatest leaders Africa has today. She leads with wisdom, humility, and strategic clarity. And Captain Ibrahim Traoré is the fire of youth, the rebirth of Sankara, the spirit of a self-reliant Africa. Together they are building a bridge, one that stretches from East to West Africa, from Dodoma to Ouagadougou, and soon from Cairo to Cape Town. So let's dream big, Intervlog family. Let's dream of a united Africa with a single African currency, a unified passport, continental healthcare, continental defense, an African stock exchange, a continental high-speed train. If Europe is united, if America is united, what is stopping Africa? We must break the chains of division. We must silence the voices that say Africa cannot lead itself. We must believe in our leaders when they rise to serve the people. So again, to every president in Africa, study the model of Samia Suluhu Hassan. Learn from Captain Ibrahim Traoré. This is what leadership looks like in the 21st century. We at Intervlog will continue to celebrate every act of African unity. Because this continent, our beautiful, powerful, blessed Africa, she is rising. And when Africa rises, the world will watch in awe. Burkina Faso. Special envoy from the President of Tanzania visits Captain Ibrahim Traoré. The President of Faso, head of state, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, granted an audience this Thursday, April 17, 2025, to Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, Special Envoy of the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan. During the press briefing held following the audience, the Tanzanian envoy stated that he had delivered to the head of state a message from President Samia Suluhu Hassan. According to the special envoy, the president of Tanzania is very satisfied with the cooperation between her country and Burkina Faso. Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete expressed the hope that relations between Tanzania and Burkina Faso would strengthen. He indicated that there are many areas of potential cooperation between Dodoma and Ouagadougou. Special Envoy Kikwete, himself a former president of Tanzania, stated that one of the areas of cooperation is health, especially in cardiology. He explained that the Tanzanian delegation will hold a working session with Burkinabe cardiologists who had the opportunity to visit the Tanzanian Heart Institute. Reasons why Africa must unite, consume African products, rely less on the West, and become borderless like Europe, as Burkina Faso and Tanzania are planning to do. In the heart of the 21st century, Africa stands at a powerful crossroads. The continent, rich in culture, minerals, and human capital, is waking up to its potential and rewriting its own destiny. Across the continent, bold new leadership and patriotic citizenry are beginning to imagine a different kind of Africa. One that is united, self-sufficient, and borderless, just like Europe. Among the countries leading this new awakening are Burkina Faso and Tanzania, who have boldly initiated steps to open their economies to each other and to the continent at large, while distancing themselves from the excessive influence of Western powers. The call for African unity, intra-African trade, and a reduced dependency on the West is not just a romantic dream of Pan-Africanists like Kwame Nkrumah or Thomas Sankara. It is a practical, necessary, and timely strategy to ensure prosperity, dignity, and sustainable development on the continent. In this article, we will explore 10 compelling reasons why Africa must unite, consume its own products, reduce dependence on Western powers, and eliminate borders between African countries. These are not mere slogans, they are survival strategies. They are the keys to unlocking a renaissance that the African people deeply deserve. Africa is home to over 1.4 billion people, yet it remains politically and economically fragmented. The European Union, despite having a smaller population than Africa, has shown that integration creates economic strength and global political leverage. When African nations speak together, negotiate together, and trade together, they form a formidable force that no global power can ignore. Burkina Faso and Tanzania are examples of countries realizing this. They have openly discussed policies of integration with like-minded neighbors. Imagine the diplomatic strength of a borderless Africa. One flag, one passport, one voice. No longer will individual African nations be bullied or manipulated. Instead, they will be respected global partners. For decades, African nations have been economically tethered to their former colonial rulers and Western institutions like the IMF and World Bank. These relationships often come with strings attached: austerity measures, policy interference, and massive debt. By reducing dependency on the West, Africa can reclaim its autonomy. It can set its own development goals based on the needs of its people, not foreign creditors. Burkina Faso under President Ibrahim Traoré and Tanzania under President Samia Suluhu Hassan are showing signs of this transformation. They are investing in local industries, reducing foreign aid reliance, and prioritizing sovereign development. Currently, only about 15% of Africa's total trade is conducted with other African countries, compared to 60% in Europe and 40% in North America. This is a missed opportunity. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, launched in 2021, is a huge step toward changing this. When African countries trade with each other, exchanging cotton from Burkina Faso for Tanzanian tea or Nigerian oil for Kenyan technology, the money stays on the continent. This builds local industries, generates jobs, and boosts GDPs. African economies must become each other's first option, not the last. Pan-African industrialization through African products. Africa has all the raw materials it needs: gold, bauxite, oil, coffee, cocoa, lithium, but still imports basic goods like clothes, rice, and even tomato paste. This is absurd. It's time for Africans to consume African products and take pride in Made in Africa. Buying African means stimulating African factories, farmers, and startups. It means jobs for youth and wealth for communities. When we wear Burkinabe cotton, eat Ghanaian chocolate, drive Tunisian cars, or use Kenyan tech, we are choosing dignity over dependency. Burkina Faso's recent explosion in tomato paste production is a model for the rest of the continent. It has replaced imported Chinese and Italian tomatoes with local ones. Tanzania is doing the same with rice and fish. That is how self-reliance begins. A borderless Africa empowers youth and innovation. Africans need to move freely. Borders are colonial impositions that no longer serve the continent. A borderless Africa, with open skies, highways, rail, and internet access, would allow young people to travel, work, study, and build businesses anywhere on the continent. Burkina Faso and Tanzania are pushing toward agreements that could eventually eliminate visa restrictions and enable seamless movement. This is the future. Imagine a Burkinabe engineer working in Nairobi, a Senegalese filmmaker shooting in Dar es Salaam, or a South African startup opening an office in Bamako. A united Africa is a playground for innovation. Economic liberation, the key to political independence. True independence is economic. Political flags and national anthems mean little when a country relies on Western aid, Western companies, and Western banking systems. Africa must reclaim its economic resources. That starts with owning our banks, controlling our mines, and managing our currencies. Many African countries still use the CFA franc, which is pegged to the euro and controlled by France. That is not freedom. Burkina Faso has been a bold voice calling for monetary sovereignty. The Alliance of Sahel States, AES, is already planning a common currency for its members. If Africa controls its economy, its people will truly be free. Food sovereignty and agricultural revolution. Africa has 60% of the world's arable land, yet it spends over $40 billion annually importing food. This is a tragedy. Burkina Faso's recent investment in agriculture, from potatoes to wheat, shows that food sovereignty is possible. With tractors, irrigation, and modern techniques, Africa can not only feed itself, but feed the world. By uniting efforts and sharing best practices, countries like Tanzania and Burkina Faso can lead a continental agricultural revolution. When Africa grows its own food, imports drop, prices fall, jobs rise, and health improves. Security through unity and shared defense. Africa is plagued by foreign-backed conflicts, coups. A united Africa would mean shared intelligence, joint military training, and coordinated defense strategies. The dream of an African army may sound far-fetched, but it is already being discussed. The Sahel countries are leading this through the AES alliance. If Europe can have joint NATO operations, why can't Africa? A united military force can end conflict, repel foreign exploitation, and bring peace to troubled zones like the Sahel, Eastern Congo, and the Horn of Africa. Cultural pride and the rise of Afrocentric identity. Africa's unity is not just political or economic, it is cultural. Africans are rediscovering their roots and taking pride in their languages, music, fashion, food, and spirituality. Pan-African media, Nollywood, Afrobeats, and Swahili are rising globally. These soft powers are tools of unity and self-worth. Consuming African content, wearing African designs, speaking African languages. These are daily acts of decolonization. A united Africa will no longer look to Paris or London for validation. It will look within. Climate resilience. Through African solidarity. Africa faces severe climate challenges: desertification, floods, droughts, and rising temperatures. But solutions can come from within. Shared renewable energy projects, cross-border reforestation, and green tech innovation can turn Africa into a climate leader. Countries like Burkina Faso and Tanzania are experimenting with solar, wind, and irrigation technologies. If they cooperate and share knowledge, progress will multiply. Unity isn't just political. It's survival. Together, Africa can protect itself from the environmental storms ahead. A borderless, self-reliant Africa is possible and necessary. The dream of a united, self-reliant, borderless Africa is not fantasy. It is already in motion. Burkina Faso and Tanzania are showing the way by prioritizing local products, strengthening regional alliances, pushing for visa-free travel, and calling for economic sovereignty. These are not isolated moves. They are part of a continental awakening. For Africa to survive and thrive, it must unite politically and economically, consume African goods and services, build strong regional industries, move freely across borders, stand independent of Western interference. Africa has nothing to lose but its chains and everything to gain: dignity, prosperity, peace, and power. The time for Africa's second independence is now. Speech by President Captain Ibrahim Traoré on the visit of Tanzania's special envoy and the advantages of cooperation between Burkina Faso and Tanzania. My dear compatriots, distinguished members of the press, honored guests, brothers and sisters of Africa, today I stand before you with a heart full of pride, joy, and unshakable belief in the greatness of African unity and cooperation. On this historic day, Thursday, April 17th, 2025, we had the immense honor of receiving in our beloved homeland, Burkina Faso, a special envoy of President Samia Suluhu Hassan of the United Republic of Tanzania. His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, a respected former president of Tanzania and a wise statesman of our continent. Let me say it without hesitation. This visit marks a new chapter in the solid, sincere, and strategic relationship between two sister nations, Burkina Faso and Tanzania. Dr. Kikwete came bearing a message of friendship, solidarity, and mutual respect from President Samia Suluhu Hassan, a visionary leader whose commitment to African cooperation resonates deeply with our own national aspirations. And I must say, when Africa speaks to Africa, when brothers speak with one voice, there is no limit to what we can achieve. Dr. Kikwete, in his address, made it clear. Tanzania values the relationship it has with Burkina Faso. And I tell you today, my brothers and sisters, so do we. We are entering a season of renewed friendship, a time to deepen our cooperation across all sectors: economy, health, education, infrastructure, agriculture, and most importantly, the spirit of Pan-Africanism. There is a saying in our tradition, un seul doigt ne peut pas ramasser la farine. One finger alone cannot gather flour. In the same spirit, Burkina Faso cannot build its destiny in isolation, neither can Tanzania. But together, hand in hand, we can build the Africa of our dreams. One of the key areas highlighted in our discussions was health, particularly cardiology. Let me take a moment to express my profound admiration for Tanzania's excellence in this field. The Tanzanian Heart Institute stands as a shining example of what African ingenuity can achieve. Our Burkinabe cardiologists who visited this institute returned with eyes wide open, hearts full of hope, and minds enriched with new knowledge. We are inspired. Imagine a future where Burkinabe citizens no longer have to travel far and wide for advanced heart treatment. Imagine a future where, in collaboration with our Tanzanian brothers and sisters, we establish a world-class heart institute right here in Ouagadougou. That future is within our reach. Tant qu'on ne crée pas nos propres chemins, on marchera toujours sur les traces des autres. Until we create our own paths, we will always walk in the footsteps of others. The time has come to walk our own road together. This meeting today is not just a diplomatic formality. It is a sign that Africa is waking up, that our nations are realizing the power that lies in unity. We must say it clearly. The days when we relied solely on external aid are over. We are building partnerships that are based on mutual respect, shared development, and African pride. Tanzania has walked a journey of transformation. Under the leadership of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, they have elevated their healthcare system, enhanced economic productivity, and upheld Pan-African ideals. We too, in Burkina Faso, under the sweat and sacrifice of our people, are transforming. Together, we are not only rising, we are soaring. Health is just the beginning. As President Kikwete highlighted, there are numerous sectors where our nations can collaborate. Agriculture. Tanzania has expertise in crop diversification, irrigation, and mechanization. Burkina Faso is on the path to agricultural revolution. Why should we not learn from each other? Education. Our youth are the seeds of Africa's tomorrow. Together, we can develop exchange programs, harmonize curricula, and train the next generation of scientists, doctors, engineers, and thinkers. Infrastructure. From roads to renewable energy, we can share experiences and co-develop innovative solutions. Mining and industry. Both our nations are rich in resources. But what is a diamond in the rough if it never gets polished? Let us explore joint ventures and investment mechanisms to harness these resources. Quand les tambours de deux villages se répondent, c'est que la danse commence. When the drums of two villages respond to each other, it means the dance has begun. Burkina Faso and Tanzania are ready to dance the dance of progress. We must also never forget that at the heart of any strong relationship is the connection between people. Let us promote cultural exchange, music, art, sport, and tourism. Let Tanzanians discover the warmth and resilience of the Burkinabe spirit. Let Burkinabe diultures are not relics. They are living fires. Fires that can light the way for generations to come. My fellow citizens, this meeting today reminds us that Africa's strength lies within Africa. We are not poor. We are not weak. We are not backward. No. We are rich in spirit, strong in resolve, blessed with youth, and united in vision. The partnership between Burkina Faso and Tanzania is not a favor. It is a force that will drive innovation, bring healing to our people, and show the world that the African lion has awakened. Si tu veux aller vite, marche seul. Si tu veux aller loin, marche avec les autres. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. We choose to go far. We choose Africa. We choose unity. Long live Burkina Faso. Long live Tanzania. Long live African solidarity. May God bless our partnership and guide us toward a future of shared success. Thank you. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog, same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.